Hey honey bunches, welcome back, or if you're new, my name's Phoebe. It's Monday morning. It's been a wonderful start to the week. Merlin is out to the count because we just had a delicious play date with Black Labrador Nelson, and he's getting so much better at leaving dogs who don't want to play with him alone. I've just got back from doing a little food shop. I had leftover fried rice for lunch and I have a chai, and then this was on special. It's a natural peanut butter bar. It looks a little bit like Play-Doh with mix-ins. Yeah, it's like peanut butter that's been filled out a bit. Quite tasty, but does look a little bit like a chunky poo. I thought I'd film a weekly vlog this week. Yesterday I did something which felt very like old worldy and I saw a movie. I did see 2 films just when restrictions opened up last October, but only like 10 people were allowed in the cinema and we all wore masks, so it felt very safe, but very pandemic-y. Whereas this, there was no mask, and as we were leaving the cinema there was like a festival happening. Blab blab, just to say that it was like, wow, this feels like a blast from the past. My brother and I saw Minari and wow, what a beautiful film. I really enjoyed it. It was slightly predictable in that it felt very reminiscent of a film I think I talked about called Sorry We Missed You, I think, by the same guy who did I, Daniel Blake. Similarly, about a working class family trying to get out of the paycheck to paycheck poverty cycle. This is set in the 80s, about a Korean family who moved to Kansas, or that's a city, right? Near there, to start a farm while holding their family together. I loved how it was shot. I love like the subtle humour in it. It's really sweet, especially involving the little boy David, the actor of which has won like a Critics' Choice or something. My brother and I on the way home did wonder how it fits into like the poverty porn discussion. I'm not well versed on that, so I'll attempt to do some rereading on that this week. I know Hillbilly Elegy, that one, got some criticism in regards to that. What I found surprising about Minari is that because it's sort of set in like country in the 80s, like sort of like western vibes, and therefore I kept expecting something like awful to happen, like something out of a David Lynch film or a western. And while it's a like depressing film, things go downhill, doesn't end well, spoilers, nothing like David Lynch like bad happens. No like gruesome murders or anything, but just interesting crossover. It's really beautiful. Would recommend. There aren't a heap of films out lately that I'd love to see. I guess like because of the pandemic it really makes you reevaluate your preferences, how strong your urges are to see films. I definitely want to see Nomadland, and if the opportunity came to see Promising Young Woman, I might. Oh, and then ones which I probably won't get around to seeing but would be nice to see. Would really love to see Supernova with Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci. I want to see the Anthony Hopkins Olivia Colman one where Anthony Hopkins is like going downhill with Alzheimer's or dementia, and I think I've totally missed the boat on Wonder Woman 1984, but that would have been cool. Anyway, the to-do list for the Savo is emailing lots of brands for HBOT collaboration purposes, so onwards. Hello again. It is 6:05. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm on the phone. I just pulled up and parked and ate 4 rolls of sushi because there was a $10 limit on card. Scoffed down some dinner before my horticulture course. It goes till about 9:15. I really hope they finish on time tonight. I really hope I enjoy it more than last time. On the way here I caught up with a friend that I haven't seen in yonks and that was so lovely. We also did a tinsy bit of op shopping. I got this crochet cardie, which was half price, so it's only like $2.50. Thank you. I don't actually wear a lot in this sort of strength of purple, but thought it was very me. And then I forgot what the artist is called, but we remember, like in Friends, the Australian awful accented model who stays with Joey for a bit. This artist comes up, kind of cute and quirky and tinsy bit creepy, and I don't even love babies at the moment. Not a fan. I'll come round to them in due course. Just feel like certain nannying experiences, when you're charged with them and you don't have the skills, I can put them in the slightly traumatic bucket. If I haven't mentioned this course, it's like a 12-week course, 1 evening a week, sort of an introductory horticulture course that covers a lot of basics, so it's perfect for like the home gardener. Me! I was so looking forward to meeting people, and it's early days. I'm really hoping this week's better. But yeah, I honestly found it quite a lonely experience last week, and didn't really speak to a single person beyond really surface level small talk, so hoping to chat with some people. They're all a lot older, and on one hand I really like the sort of cross-generational, from all sides of Melbourne, you know, group of people, but yeah, a lot of them know each other. Wish me luck that it will be good. I do not find that my most sociable hour is like between 6 and 9. Not at all. So that also makes it a bit hard. Also makes it a bit hard that anxiety is often worse at that point because I kind of just want to be home. Little random side note, today is my last day before I wash my hair, and I started wearing a tinsy bit of makeup on that day. And my gosh, does it make a difference for leveling out how you feel throughout the week? Like, I think we all are so affected by hormones, number of days you've worn your outfit, hair washing days, how your skin feels, and then add digestion into the mix, you know. But it's really helping me level out because often I feel a bit gross the day before I wash my hair. So I do not know how to apply makeup, but adding a tinsy touch-up makes me feel more myself. Last night turned out to be so much better. Hooray! The topic was sort of like plant structure and was quite biology heavy, but the guy who taught it, because they changed lecturers, had been teaching for 40 years, was so passionate about the subject matter and so animated and engaging and just such an interesting person. And I chatted to someone and felt much more like of an attendee and a student rather than just like, am I in the right place? It was really good. We are having so much wet weather this week because of sort of the tail end stuff of the flooding that's happening in New South Wales, so it's moister than moist, but trying to feel like it's cozy too, even though it's really humid. I'm really loving This Is Not a Drill, the Extinction Rebellion book. I wish I'd read it earlier, but yeah, I hadn't seen it in bookshops and I hadn't gone out of my way and bought it, but I don't know what I was expecting, but the format is like a series of essays and I just find that so engaging, reading about people's personal experience, and the freedom of that format just really appeals, and hearing from different voices that have their own experience and knowledge and expertise is so much more engaging. I think I was expecting like a low-grade textbook situation, I don't know why. Today is Wednesday, so I have some nannying later. Hopefully it's not raining then when I need to be walking Harry. Otherwise, I'm going to make some food because I haven't really eaten the best in the last couple of days. I'm also trying to film a video this week of me like trying to find or experimenting with breakfasts and trying to find like a new fave breakfast, because breakfast for a long time was my fave meal of the day, and I would wake up like hungry and just loving it, and when I could eat gluten, like oatmeal is such a warm hug in the morning and it's brilliant. And then I went to millet porridge, but I don't seem to be able to like have that every day. My digestion's kind of like, I don't know, it does weird things. So that just sucks, and all the other gluten-free porridges just don't taste as good. And so yeah, we're experimenting, which is hard because change, especially first thing in the morning, is hard. A routine breakfast can really help you get up in the morning, hence why I have like the same smoothie a lot of the time. Something really interesting which came up in the course, we were talking about Melbourne being quite a Victorian era city and how so many cities around the world, colonial cities, have the same characteristics, which came about when a sort of 6-day working week was more of a thing in places like Hong Kong, Melbourne, parts of Canada, and even in parts of the US, because they were sort of watching. You have a large public garden that anyone could visit, and it was good enough that sort of the everyday person wouldn't be jealous of like estate gardens. And then often like Government House is or was near our Royal Botanic Garden, and the garden is so designed that like a palm tree under the spire, and then so you'd look up and sort of see the spire and the flag reminding you of like colonial rule. And then often there's a zoo right next to the public garden. That doesn't happen in Melbourne because of a sort of planning glitch, but the zoo function was sort of like a showroom for the empire, because you could have like zebras and rhinos from Africa, a kangaroo from Australia, various monkeys and snakes from insert country, you know? So it could be sort of a colonial tool to like remind citizens of the grandeur of the empire and their place in a grand empire. And yeah, the lecturer was sort of saying that having those sorts of places that people could go and have like lots of subliminal advertising and messaging about the colonial empire meant that on their day off when they're visiting these places, they're not going to organise a revolution like it happened in France. So yeah. Some protein powder that I hadn't tried before in some almond coconut milk. I'm just not a big fan of protein powder in general, but I recognise that it's something that makes me feel full and is good for breakfasts, which at the moment I find really tricky to appealing, appetizing, or interesting. And out of all of them, the new zest ones are like not too sweet and very digestible and like gentle. And yeah, they fill you up, but they're okay. This one is the coconut coffee one. It might grow on me. I've just pulled up at a park during my dog walking segment of nannying, and feeling really funky today. For personal reasons, my psychologist cancelled our appointment tomorrow, which is totally understandable, but I have since felt how much I was looking forward to it and really needed it. And because I'm sort of going weekly at the moment, and I mean it's not that intensely, lots of people go weekly when they are going, but how I'm feeling and like memories of stuff is a lot of what I'm thinking about at the moment, which I feel in turn makes me not as present or as interesting in these videos. Hopefully that's not true. I love how not sweet this is. Very drinkable. Something semi-exciting that happened this morning is that 2 brands got back to me. I've taken the proactive route and contacted some brands that obviously I already enjoy their products or very much like the sound of. Yeah, approached them for a potential like collaboration, aka there's no payment, but like I get some of their products in exchange for mentioning them in a vlog. I've talked about this on Patreon, but like all in effort of 1, like using my HBOT leverage, and 2, like gently taking it more seriously, treating it a bit more like a business, and just because why not, like I'm worth it. And really when I think of not doing it, it's because of like what people will think, but really it's like only what 2 people will think, so that's not a good enough reason. I gave Merlin a massive walk before I went out, and nothing that bad has happened, but another little physical moment in that he pulled me over and I rolled my ankle. The only other thing that's happened is that he pulled a cord which made this really heavy lamp fall on my head when he was teeny, both of which like are my fault. But yeah, we're very much in the interesting teenage years where his like physical bulk is occasionally a challenge, but also a pleasure. He's so snuggly. Okay, I'm gonna read and walk Harry. See ya.
한결같은 밤 속삭이는 맘 어우러지네 작은 발자국 뒤로 한 방울씩도 비가 내리네.
That lunch was smashing. It's Thursday 2:30 and I did some errands. I went to a massive op shop and literally didn't find anything even to try on, which was just a bit blah, and then everything else was a bit blah too. You know when you just like don't seem to be communicating with the world properly? Total miscommunication when I was ordering my lunch, and then when I was trying to get a token for the trolleys at Woolworths. Something I did is buy the bulk of the Easter chocolate. I dibsed taking care of that in our family because there are so many new great vegan chocolate egg options that have become available this year. So there's like 2 things to add, but I'll show you what I got. The panna milk that they've brought out is like so creamy and so delicious. So I got the milk egg, the milk almond egg, the salted caramel egg. There's a macadamia one which I would have loved to get for my mum, but they didn't have it. And Nomo has heaps of eggs in Woolworths too, so I got the hazelnut one. And then this, I think my dad will enjoy, whiskey and smoke, vegan dark. And I just got some dark little eggs because I realised the rest is not actually very dark. 7:30 on Friday evening. Nothing much too interesting or easily vloggable has happened since I last spoke to you. This morning I took Merlin to this quite significantly large dog beach with a friend. That was really good. Mostly he needed to be removed from some smaller dogs, but we found a 9-month-old golden retriever and they were vibing for 10-15 minutes wrestling, and that dog had a great owner. We just chatted dogs. Then I was doing an interview with a friend for one of her university publishing unit, media publishing type projects, and usually I really don't enjoy hearing myself talk for a long time, but it just makes such a difference when you're with someone who's holding such like a comfy warm space. So yeah, that was good, except that I forgot about it like half an hour before, and so got the text that I'm here and was like, shit. As such an organized person, that affects me more than it should. I was like tearing up on the way there, feeling like I'd let someone down in such a disastrous way. Anyway, I think I'm gonna have a bath tonight. Maybe watch an Anne with an E in the bath. Has anyone seen the pic of Kirsten Stewart? She's gonna be playing Diana in a, no, it's not The Crown. I like totally freaked out. It's a standalone film called Spencer. I just kind of love Kirsten Stewart. She's so handsome.